Yeah, hi. Before Jen gets here, I want to tell you who I am. I'm Vernita Nemec, and it's March 30th, I think, 1988. And I've been having a lot of insights.
Why do you want it tilted?
I don't know. It was just something I did. Because life is tilted. My life is tilted. My insights are tilted. And I'm starting to get a view of things from another tilt now. Hi, Giovanni. And I drink seltzer.
What was the funniest thing that ever happened to you?
Nothing really funny has ever happened to me. When it happens to me, it's sort of silly and not too important, but I couldn't say it's ever really funny. But that's with my old attitude. With my new attitude, life's coincidences are funny. There are weird, strange coincidences.
Tell us about your insecurities.
Well, it seems to be a lifelong battle trying to get rid of them. It seems to be my purpose in life, and it's a purpose that so far I haven't succeeded at, except in just moments. I guess I've gotten sort of comfortable with them. I feel guilty when I don't have them. It must mean that I'm not being modest. I think it's an aspect of being modest, feeling insecure, actually.
Tell us about how you always think everybody else is doing better.
Well, yeah, it's true. It's not that I think that, it's true. I mean, people, everyone gets their shit together before I do. And I've always sort of felt that.
Expand about how much better they are than you are.
How much better?
How everyone gets, how everyone gets everything better. All your friends and everything. Just start talking about how everything is better.
Well, I mean, it's like if I decide to go to an opening, I've picked the wrong opening even, or if I decide to go to a workshop or take a class, I have the wrong instructor and it's the wrong night of the week, and I don't feel like doing my homework. I hate to do homework. But then, that does give me a reason to say, well, if I had done the work for it, then it would have been better. And everyone else would have done the work. I know people who do the work for it. It's dumb work that they do. But it is sort of impressive, just the fact of doing it, I suppose. That's not very interesting, though, you see.
Pretend that you're an artist who never does any art. And go on about how you're really an artist. And so somehow let the viewer suddenly realize that you never do any art.
Make it up or tell the truth?
Make it up. Well, a little bit of both. Make it up.
Well, I used to have this shrink who, I would use my shrink sessions to voice my self-doubt about whether I was an artist. I was then questioning whether or not I was an artist. And one of the reasons I was questioning it was because it was so hard to do my art. And it never came out the way I wanted it to come out. It never, it would sort of take off in its own direction. Sometimes it was better, but
Okay,
It's
try this
out of
again.
my control.
Try this again, where your same thing about the shrink was questioning it, and one of the reasons she questioned is because I never do any art, or I never did any art, or something like that, sort of.
Oh, that's true. I was getting to that. I was,
Okay, start from the top again.
rather than the self-doubts, you mean.
No. I mean, just indicate that that would be very funny. I mean, sort of imitating that you're an artist too, and your shrink just didn't have any confidence in you. And
Well, okay, all
okay,
right.
start from the top.
Okay, hi. I used to go to this shrink who I was exploring my self-doubts about being an artist with. And she also began to feel that I wasn't an artist. I couldn't understand it. I mean, she asked me when I did art, and I couldn't remember times that I actually made art. But, I mean, the Duchamp tradition is not necessarily about making art. And Andy Warhol either. It's not necessarily about making art. It's about a lot of stuff. And you can think about making art. And sometimes that's art. And you can write about your thoughts about making art. And that can become art too. Or you could tell someone about these things that you would make if you had the time or the money or this, like for me right now it's the space. I began to think that, well, now I think I am an artist. There's no question that I'm an artist. I don't make as many things perhaps as people would expect an artist to make, but it's about space, because you make these things and you need lots of room to see it, to create an environment for this object. And you almost have to have the environment before you make it, because the environment helps create it too. Things are in relationship to other things, and art is no different than anything else in that regard. Art is like politics, and everybody creates their own image. Creating is making art, and an image can be a real thing or an imagined thing.
And that's very good. Then you also want to do things about sort of wacky things, like art is like having orgasms, or something, or like having sex, or something, just to keep.
Well,
working.
I did actually. I was thinking that there was something about art and sex. I've sort of. Well, art is like having sex, and sometimes you have to replace one or the other, and get rid of. You have to, sometimes you have to choose between them. I've always had to choose between them, actually, up until recently. And, finally, you don't separate them. That's how you can have them both.
So you make art while you're having sex? That's what you would say. You'd say, now, and that's how you'd finish it.
Okay, and so now I make art when I'm having sex.
And what is your philosophy of making these empty paintings that you do?
Well, things have gotten so complex, and you can't possibly put it all down. So you almost have to leave it empty, so that people can imagine what would be there if you had had the time, and if they had the time to study it.